From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we go over the breaking news about your fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get it, and when you're going to get it. We're going over the breaking news that came from the Labor Department today and the breaking news from the parliamentarian yesterday. In the second half of this video, we'll go over this stimulus that will raise your benefits up an enormous amount lifetime. And it's all because of a benchmark that will be the highest of a generation. Then in the middle of this recording, we get big money, thousands of dollars. If viewers continue to get it, you're going to get it as well. It's a big noontime. I'm really excited for you. Let's get to the finish line. Let's get that moolah. Let's get everything you are owed, and let's get it now, right in this very moment. It's a big day. It's a big moment, and we are going to get it. We're going to get it right now, starting here on LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How you doing? How are you doing? How's your day going? It's a beautiful noontime here in Santa Monica, California. I'm live with you on air. A little bit late, so sorry I'm about 15 minutes late, but hope you are wonderful. How's the weather where you are tuning in from? And tell me where you're tuning in from. The sun has come out. You can notice it. We finally have some beautiful sun coming on in. Not particularly hot, but a little bit of breeze, so it's beautiful. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we're going to go over the monthly stimulus check, how much you're going to get, what you're going to get. We're also going to go over the breaking news that came out from the Labor Department this morning, two major breaking news stories, and also the breaking news about the parliamentarian in the Senate. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up an enormous amount, and we're going to analyze that in view of the breaking news that came this morning. And then in the middle of this recording, we can go over the thousands of dollars of viewers continue to get. Cod got his money this morning. I'll be going over your money as well. And with that, subscribe. This is LALATE, your only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, like this broadcast, taped in the afternoon, starting with afternoons at 3 o'clock and then evenings at 5 o'clock. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus with the House bill and the Senate proposal. Slightly different. We're going to analyze them starting right now. The House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides a stimulus check from July to December. So let's compare and contrast that right now. House bill from Jalopal provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate bill provides a stimulus check from July to December. If you're in the live chat just before 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, get ready to vote. House or Senate, get ready to vote. But not just yet. Let's look at the monthly amount. There you go. There you go. House, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. Senate, unknown, but word on the street is it's this. OMG. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Wow. $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Wow. Now, before you vote House or Senate, let's look back at the macroeconomics that's impacting Jalopal's House bill. Legislator insiders believe the legislators may say the pandemic's over. If that's the case, Jalopal's bill would provide a stimulus check for 1 year, not pandemic plus 1 year, and that would amount to 12 months of stimulus checks, $13,000 under Jalopal's bill. Over 12 months, compare that to this, over 6 months. Yeah, I think you got an opinion now. I think you have an opinion now. Vote House or Senate. House or Senate, which one you like, and jump into the live chat and state where you're watching in and how's the weather. Boy, I got more details right now. First, who gets a fourth stimulus check? You do. So if you're a single individual, less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check and double it. Family 4 or less, household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, congratulations, you get the fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check would have the same amount for everyone. Wonderful news. Same amount for adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone else. The fourth stimulus check may or may not be taken out for child support. We don't know those details just yet. And the fourth stimulus check would not come with a wave of payments because it's a monthly stimulus check. They don't have time. Remember, the legislators make representations, and they make representations, not me, that the vote would be by July 4th. That means that you would get the fourth stimulus check, the first one in July for the month of July, and in the month of August for the month of August. And that's your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today to start. But I got big details coming up. Later in this recording, we'll go over the breaking news, the news out of the parliamentarian, the news out of Wall Street and the Labor Department that all impact your fourth stimulus, and it's coming up in just a second. But first, let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. And fifth stimulus has some breaking news as well today. Fifth stimulus raises up your benefits one big time if you're on benefits like SSI and veterans benefits, and then applies a benchmark. The benchmark will be the highest of a generation. And if that is the case, which everyone says it will, then you would see your benefits raised lifetime. Wow, that's wonderful news. It's coming up in the second half of this video, so stay with me till then. But boy, first now let's turn to some big moolah, as Sir Lauren would say, because that big moolah is available for you to get right now. We don't go less than an hour. You are killing it. You are killing it. We don't go less than an hour without you saying, I got money for rent, utilities, SNAP. If that's you, jump into the live chat. Say what you got and when you got it, or in the comments of this video, because it inspires other people. It inspires me, inspires other people to get that money. And if you haven't gotten money, or if you want to get more, get that pen and paper ready, because we're about to get in just a second. Stay with me at the very end, because I got a lot of money to get you in this video. We're going to go over rent, utilities, and more, and it starts first with this. $350 billion coming for you. No, it's not all for you. It's $350 billion for you to share. So, $349 for you and like $500 million for me would be good. Yeah, it's just coming to the city, county, and state for the federal government. And that money is for rent, utilities, food, internet, and also mortgage assistance and homeowners utilities. How do you get it? Get that pen and paper ready. There's going to be 6 places you're going to get that money. Each has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next one, and that may have a yes. And boy, it's exciting starting with rent. About $5,000 for rent, 4 to 6 months of rent, then a couple $100 for utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. Let's get it. You ready? Let's get it. Here's that pen and paper. Let's do it. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. You're going to reach out to them and ask for rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You can also say Biden Economic Recovery Act. You don't say stimulus. You don't say stimulus. No, you don't. And you also don't say buttered croissant. Because they'll be like, buttered croissant? What do you think this is? A pollo loco? This is... We do red here, sir. We don't do buttered croissants. So you have to say the right words when you call up. And that is the money for your rent, utilities, and congratulations to Tim and Linda who got that great money, but not the buttered croissant, recently. And the next pot of money, Gail got it. Gail got it, Linda got it, Lynn Gray got it for her son and for herself and her mom. And let's go over all those incredible details. And it starts right now. It is SNAP. What is SNAP? How much can you get? Where do you get it? Let's go over all the details. First, what is it? It's money for food. How do you get it? To Department of Agriculture. Contact DOA, and they'll get you that money to you. How much money is it? It's a fortune. A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow. Why so much? Because there's 2 executive orders that are wonderful. One from Trump that raised your benefits 15% from between now and December, and one from Biden, which did the same. Just wonderful. So go get that SNAP, $15,000 for family of 4 in Hawaii. Gail and Lynn got it. And then get that money for rent. Tim and Linda got it. 2 other viewers this morning got it as well. We are killing it. We are at 9.5 minutes of this video, and we're just getting started. And now I got $5,000 for you. Oh boy, one viewer got that $5,000, and where's it coming from? Let's go over the details of what it's from, how you get it, and when you get it. It's money coming from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment benefits due to a computer error at the state level. Really? Yeah, so those computers had errors. They always have errors. And because of those computer errors, you got overpaid benefits. Well, the federal government has said, nope, that was your money, the citizens to keep, even though the states told you to return it. So now the federal government has ordered the states to return that money back to you. Congratulations. One viewer got $5,000. How do you get it? On the bank account you have on file with the Department of Unemployment. When do you get it? Reach out to your respective state. Every state has different rallying times. All right, the next pot of money is wonderful. This morning on Overnight's Crypto, our new hit show that airs 15 hours overnight with a live chat, COD jumped into the live chat, say, tell viewers I got my unemployment refund this morning by direct deposit. So congratulations to God. He joins the two other viewers who got 2,000 and more from another viewer in the last recent days. Let's go over what this money is, how you get it, when you get it, and how you track it. First, what is it? It is money back from the unemployment from IRS that you paid on taxes for your 2020 unemployment benefits. Here's an example. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 in total tax bill on the 2020 return to IRS, of which $4,000 was your taxes on the unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back that $4,000. Next, how? In the case of COD, he had a direct deposit on file, but for everyone else, in the mail. Watch the mail. Be surgically slow going through the mail because the envelope is laser thin. You don't want to discard it. When? In the month of June. The checks were sent out in the month of May. And finally, tracking? Yes. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password. Go in there and do a transcript search. That transcript search will reveal the activity on your name. Filed a tax return, paid the tax return, and got a check sent back to you. 70% of the time, the tracker tool works. Is there anything better than that? There is, and it is the continuation of Forced Stimulus Check Updated 2021, Part 2. Let's get to the great details. And the great details started less than a week ago when Chuck Schumer confirmed 3 things that I have been reporting. And they are, 1, Schumer confirmed that the reconciliation process of the forced stimulus is currently underway. Number 2, Schumer confirmed that the reconciliation process will be finished by July 4th. And number 3, Schumer confirmed that the reconciliation process will continue whether or not the president has bipartisan negotiations. Now, this one I have an update for you. A series of new reports out today say that while the president will not formally tell you what happened yesterday during his bipartisan negotiations, informally, insiders say there was no deal. Obviously, there's no deal. I mean, we don't see the deal. And that may be sort of the end of it. There you go. So away we go. Now, how did Schumer get to this point? Well, it started again with Jalopal. Jalopal got the ball rolling over a week ago when Jalopal wrote Schumer a letter saying, call the recon vote. What are we waiting for? And that letter from Jalopal was co-signed by about 12 House Democrats who, ironically, are among the 100-plus Democrats from the House who wrote the president a letter weeks earlier saying, we're going to put 4 stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Oh, boy. Now, that's good. And, of course, Schumer did exactly that. He's calling the vote. More about what calling the vote is later in this video. Can we get better than that? We can get better than that, a lot better. When about a week ago, the 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to work with you to get multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Now, work with you is a euphemism because the president doesn't write legislation. He's in the executive branch. These people do. But who are these people? These are the people who are in the subcommittee in the House that is solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks. Yes, they wrote the first stimulus check, the second stimulus check, the third stimulus check, and now they're telling the president less than a week ago they're writing the 4 stimulus checks for him. Boy, it is getting good. This can't get any better. I think Sirloin's outside the window with Captain Obvious, but I can't see them behind the behind the purple flowers. And then it got even better when on Tuesday the president did something fascinating, a little confusing, but wonderful. So let me slow it down for you. The president of the United States is paying for forced stimulus by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. So the president Tuesday reached out to global countries around the globe, that's what they're called, global, and got them to tentatively agree upon a higher global minimum corporate tax rate, 15%. So what did the president say later in the day? This is where it gets good. The president reached out to insiders and said, after forced stimulus becomes law, I'm going to go back to those G7 country leaders, those global leaders, and get them to sign on the dotted line and formally agree to a higher global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. And if they do, I'm dropping the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. Oh my goodness. So he's going to drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is now, and stimulus checks are going to go out? Boy, does it get better than that? It does. When on Wednesday, the president formally rejected the Republicans' counteroffer, and then on Thursday last week, a series of House Senate Democrats did the same, saying to Chuck Schumer, call the vote, Chuck. And that's how we got to today. The reconciliation process is underway. The vote is being called. I'll be going over what calling of the vote is, all the steps that you need to know. And in the third part of this update about your fourth stimulus check of this recording, we'll be going over the breaking news that formulated this morning from the Department of Labor, the breaking news from the parliamentarian yesterday, and we'll also have the incredible great news about fifth stimulus, and it's breaking news. But first, I got even better great news for you, and it's the volunteers. The volunteers are here to help you get that rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. They're viewers just like you, and they are wonderful. They embody the true spirit of the Purple Power, which last year I started when this channel launched. Initially, I got viewers $25 million in EIDL loans, which they were not getting. I stepped in on a handheld, and I personally walked through all their different applications and got millions and millions of loans approved for them, but for their businesses would have closed. Then in the fall of last year, we saw that second stimulus may not have been going along well. It wasn't getting to the finish line. So I did what was called Purple, which became essentially the middle part of this recording, helping getting people rent, utilities, and more. And that bred the volunteers. The volunteers are viewers just like you who will help you get that money if you can't find it. So reach out to them. Where are they? Open the description to this video. Go down in the description. Find an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house is a link to the community page, news.lalate.com. It sends you over to the web page of the community page. There is a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. They're just kitty cats. Lower on the page is the volunteers. The volunteers are separated from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Reach out to them to help you get that money. And I'll be back with you 60 seconds with more exciting details about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. Stay with me. See you in about 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE, with exciting details still coming up about the fourth stimulus and the fifth stimulus. It's noontime. How's the weather where you are? Drop in the live chat if you're just joining me where you're watching from, and how's the weather if you're watching the show later in the day taped. Drop in the comments as well. Earlier today, Mornings LALATE and Early Mornings LALATE. If you missed those shows, they're now on the channel. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Also, like this video and consider becoming a member. Learn more about membership later in this video. Coming up next is Afternoons LA and Evenings LA. All right, let's get right to fifth stimulus with really exciting news about that fifth stimulus. And we're going to go over why this is the change of a generation and a lifetime. Fifth stimulus starts with raising up your benefit levels, then removing the asset limit, adding an inflationary benchmark, and then removing the income exclusion and removing the marriage penalty. I'm going to go over all those details with you, and I'm going to also apply the breaking news stories to the analysis starting right now. First, how do they do this? This is a recon in September, two-bill, two-step process where they'll raise up your benefits. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, your benefits will be raised up one big time. Then they'll apply a benchmark. The benchmark will not be COLA. It will not be CPIE, it will be inflation. Now, the inflation rate by December is expected to be the highest of a generation. And if that's the case, then your benefits will be stepped up lifetime enormously. Let's go over the analysis. A lot of analysts putting the inflation rate between 2 to 7%. Let's choose 6% as an example. This is how it would work. First, they would raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Then, in December, let's say the inflation rate is 6%. Then you'd step up an additional 6%. But not just for next year. Lifetime. Because the way that benefits works is once you step up, you never step down. You either stay the same or step up more. So if the year after that the inflation rate is 0%, you're still at plus 6%. And the year after that the inflation rate is 1, then you're at plus 1 and plus 6%. Wonderful news. It continues with great news as they're going to remove the asset cap. Dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 in your hand. Good time to get rid of that law so you can have more stimulus checks in your hand. Then they're going to remove a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Thank goodness. That's a horrible thing, that marriage penalty. Love is going to win. You're going to be able to marry your longtime love interests. No longer fear losing benefits and no longer be penalized if you were married. That's fifth stimulus. That heats up this September. They represent the money would get in your bank account by about November. And then the step up, of course, letter would come in December for next January. Now, it's important to note that fifth stimulus has a lot of other items in there besides this. The fifth stimulus plan by the president is called the American Family Plan. But there's a lot of money in the family plan that's for single people. How do you know what's in there? By becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. Members are delivered from me via the community page of YouTube, which if you have set up for email delivery, a delineation, a breakdown every day of what's in the fifth stimulus, the fourth stimulus, and the third stimulus. You're delivered from me every single day a breakdown so you know what money you're entitled to get. For example, under the fifth stimulus, there is money for single individuals. There is money for single hazard pay. There is also money for single seniors. In the fourth stimulus, there's a lot of money that I can't cover in a 30-minute video that's currently at 22 minutes. And in third stimulus, there's a lot of other money that's still landing that I want you to get, and I want you to know what it is. At minimum, subscribe if you can't become a member. By subscribing, you know exactly where things are because the month of July is going to be very busy. All right, let's turn to the third part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. And I'm going to go over 3 big details. First, we're going to go over the 2 numbers that came from the Labor Department. Oh yeah, this is one of those rare occurrences once a month where you get 2 sets of numbers. And then we're going to go over another breaking detail. And finally, we're going to go over calling the vote. All right, first, you know, if you've been with this channel since day one, that when I launched this channel, we had just started the pandemic. And I consistently had said that every Thursday morning, the new unemployment claims numbers were released. I also said that before the pandemic, we were at 200,000 new jobless claims per week. That was right before the pandemic started. And that we shot up. We shot up really high. So what happened this morning? The new jobless numbers were released every Thursday morning, new jobless claims. And how low is the number? The lowest number since the start of the pandemic. We came in at 400,000, which is just wonderful. The lowest number before that was 256, which was March 14th, 2020, just when the pandemic was about to start. So at the lowest level since the pandemic started. Does that impact fourth stimulus? No, because the number still shows that there's 400,000 people unemployed, and we still have not eradicated all the unemployment at issue under the pandemic, so it doesn't hurt nor help the fourth stimulus debate at all. The second number is a little bit more interesting, and you know which number that is. It's the monthly job creation number. Does this help or hurt fourth stimulus? It actually helps fourth stimulus because it shows that there's 7 million jobs still missing from the pandemic. If you've been with me since February, you heard me say that there was 8 million jobs missing. You also heard me say I was worried that we could get 1 million jobs restored every month, starting the month of January. And if you counted that out on your fingers, you would say, we may have all the jobs restored by about August. Maybe those legislators may get cold feet by August. Well, you know what happened. February, we had a bad month. We did not have many jobs restored. March was a bad month. April was a bad month. And minutes ago, the May number was released. It was a great number. 1 million jobs restored, but there's still 7 million jobs missing. So because of that, no need of concern, actually more reason to pass for stimulus because we have still not restored 7 of the 8 million jobs we've been talking about all year long. So great news for that. Then I want to go over calling the vote. Calling the vote is very important to understand because there are 9 steps required for a reconciliation process under the Constitution. There's no way to cut them shorter, and I want to go over all the 9 steps with you right now. The first half are procedural, and the second half are substantive. Step 1 is the House subcommittee calls the procedural vote. Step 2, the House floor calls the procedural vote. Step 3, the Senate floor calls the procedural vote. And step 4, the president signs the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. The procedural bill has been done. Time to do the substantive bill. Step 5, the House subcommittee does the procedural bill. This is where the House subcommittee, which we talked about earlier in this broadcast, could put those multiple stimulus checks in. They don't have to, but they could. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8 are the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate, where senators introduce amendments to what they're given from the House. So, if the House does have stimulus checks in there, the senators can amend it or just leave it alone. If the House does not have stimulus checks in there, the senators can amend it and add them. And then finally, step 9, the president signs into law. There you go. That is what calling the vote is. It's 9 steps of voting that need to be done. Finally, last thing is yesterday the Senate parliamentarian issued a guidance. Now, what's important for you to understand is that I'm going to slow this down so you understand it because it's a little bit complicated and it's very, very fluid. Here's what you need to know. If you put 100 political analysts and 100 legal analysts in a room, there are certain things they would agree upon of where we are right now, and there are certain things they would not agree upon. Some would say one thing and some would say another thing. So let me go over the analysis right now. First, they would agree upon that legislators have 1 recon in the spring and 1 recon in the fall. Every year you have 1 recon given to you in the spring and 1 recon in the fall. That's what Leader Schumer and the Democrats contend. Next, those analysts would likely also agree that you can save a recon that you don't use and use it in another Senate session. Why would they agree? Because Republicans did that. They did that when Trump came into his first term in office. They saved it from the prior year. Leader Schumer recently did that as well. Last fall, Leader Schumer had an extra recon sitting around from fall of 2020, so he saved that recon to use it this coming year. When third stimulus was passed, he used the unused recon from last year, the saved up one from fall of 2020, to pass third stimulus this spring. He did not use his new recon from spring of 2020, and he certainly didn't use his new recon from fall of 2021. So most of these 100 analysts would agree that Leader Schumer could save a recon from last year and use it this term because both parties have done this before. They would also likely agree that Schumer has 1 new recon still available now for this Senate session, which ends this summer, and 1 available still for this fall. There is where we bring it up to the present day. It's after that those 100 analysts would likely disagree upon a lot of things, and we're going to go over them right now as simply as I can make them. First, earlier this year, Leader Schumer and the Democrats reached out to the Senate parliamentarian to ask 1 question and 1 question only. Can Schumer do a redo of a prior reconciliation? Namely, this spring, he used last year's leftover for third stimulus. He used the fall 2020 to pass third stimulus. Can he reuse that again? The Senate parliamentarian didn't issue a ruling, but issued a guidance, a memo, and said yes. The Democrats said this was wonderful. 24 hours ago, the Senate parliamentarian issued another guidance, and the guidance is, again, not a ruling, but a guidance, and said potentially no, which then leaves Schumer at a quandary. Here's what you need to know, is that there is at least 1 new recon from spring of 2021 and 1 new recon for fall 2021. Next year, they get new recons again as well. So I'm not particularly worried whatsoever because there's a recon left for forced stimulus this spring, for now this summer, and there's a recon left for stimulus number 5 this fall. Now, as to why Schumer wants to keep on saving up and redoing recons, I don't know. We have to ask him. I don't know. And he has recons next year coming in the pipeline when he wants to do 6 and 7 stimulus next year. So is this much of an issue for us? No. Am I going to stay on the subject on this channel of reconciliation and how many are saved up and how you do it and how you do it? No. Ultimately, here's what you also need to know, is that if you go on social media, if you go onto print media, if you go onto broadcast media, there's a lot of politically slanted publications that are misreporting a lot of this. So they are first saying that the parliamentarian said something which she never said yesterday. 2, saying something she said in the spring which she never said. 3, saying that something Schumer said which she never said. So it's just a mess out there. Bottom line is, am I concerned about anything? No. For that, I don't believe I'm going to stay too much longer on the how many recons does Chuck want to save in the kitchen cabinet story, because it's boring and it doesn't have anything to do with stimulus. There's enough recons about for stimulus at this point. And so with that, I thank you for joining me. But baby, there is still one more thing you got to do, and that is Purple Power. Purple Power is back, baby, because these are legislators. They pass legislation and money is often not sent out. They write bills and often money is not sent out. They propose to do something and sometimes they fold like a lawn chair. So you got to push Purple Power, and we're pushing right now. Share this video on Facebook, social media, Instagram, Reddit, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power, because these legislators commonly don't follow through, and we want to ensure that they follow through on everything. So with that, subscribe. I want you part of this family. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm next back with you on afternoons LATE at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then evenings LATE at 5, and then evenings crypto, followed by overnights LATE. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful noontime. Stay informed, stay positive, and stay with LATE for more.